The silence from
What
the
do we
left
do?
right now is truly shocking. That if you don't condemn it, you condone it. They're not condemning that. I'll tell you, I had not been announced for Senate for 24 hours before people started calling me fascist online.
Mm-hmm.
My 10-year-old nephew said to my sister, I don't want Uncle Morgan to run for Senate because I don't want him to be killed. He had seen the Charlie Kirk news. And that has affected a whole generation of people. It's chilling them out of public service. People don't want to go into public service. People say to me all the time, I can't believe you're doing this. I can't believe you're exposing yourself to it. But I never thought I'd expose my son or my family to this kind of rhetoric, this kind of planned violence. That's I mean, you know criminals. They imagine the violence before they commit it. That's what's so frightening about his words.
That's it. No, that's absolutely right. And people try to pretend that there's this separation. Things don't happen in the world that didn't first happen in the human heart.
That's right.
People will fixate on something and then they will eventually do it. And when it comes to left-wing fantasies of harming children, whether of this variety or others, we're told by certain left-wing activists, firstly, tacitly by the people who are silent about this, but also about others who will try to argue that, oh, well, somebody thinking about something doesn't mean they're going to really go do it in real life. If someone's an alcoholic, do you give them the advice that they should think about drinking all day because that's going to be a good outlet to get them to stop drinking? Obviously not. The reason they say it's okay for people to, quote unquote, muse, which is the word one article used to describe this man fantasizing about these children dying. The reason that they say that it's okay for these people to muse about this is because, of course, they know what we know, that thoughts lead to actions, and they want it to happen. They want that to happen.
Guard your thoughts. Thoughts become words, and words become actions, and actions become destiny and your character.
There are people that are on the supposedly moderate left that have said things like, there's a streamer named Destiny that said things like, look, we want to see conservatives afraid of dying if they go out and promote their political opinions, so that way they will petition their leaders to tell them to turn the rhetoric down, to turn the temperature down, which is, on its face, that's a dumb thing, right? We're going to endorse terrorism because terrorism works. That's exactly what he's saying. We want these people to be terrorized so that way they will tell their leaders that people like Donald Trump that they should not, they should do things to turn down the temperature. We'll turn the temperature up in order to get them to turn down the temperature, which is historically a massively counterproductive effort. Right? People don't respond to terrorism by saying, especially on the levels that would be thought possible in the United States, right? You're not going to get a massive terrorist attack or you're not going to get massive amounts of terrorism out of the left nowadays. And if you did, I mean, look what happened in 9/11. Like we mobilized the entire country to respond to a terrorist attack that killed 3,000 people. Like, the idea that terrorism is going to produce the right, was going to cow the right and make the right say, no, we should tell our leaders to turn down the temperature. That is an objectively stupid thing to think on its face. That never happens. Historically, that never happens. But this is something that the people on the left, and again, this guy's supposedly a moderate, on the moderate left. He's not what you would consider a communist. He's not what you would consider a socialist. He talks about he believes in capitalism ostensibly and stuff, but he says things like this. And that's something that you get on the left broadly nowadays, which is why you saw people celebrating.
And where are the calls for Jay Jones to tone down the rhetoric?
Yeah, exactly.
Where are the calls for a Democrat member, a guy who's running for, on AG on a major party ticket? He's the running mate of Abigail Spanberger. You have not heard anyone. Now, I will say MSNBC's called it, all right? But you don't hear, I'm not getting hit up by reporters saying, when are we going to, Manu Raju isn't running around Capitol Hill saying, well, are you going to tone down the rhetoric? Are you going to disavow? Are you going to disavow? Where is it? Where are this? Because when my friend was murdered, all right, 3 weeks ago, and the very first thing I heard was, are you guys going to tone down the rhetoric? I'm like, I haven't even said anything. I haven't even said a word.
It's disgusting.
Well, aren't you guys going to tone down the rhetoric? I said, well, first of all, my friend's in a box. There are bullets flying. One of them hit him, and there's bullets flying at ICE agents. And the media's first response is to ask the right to tone down rhetoric when we're the ones who are catching bullets all of a sudden.
They literally said, will this terrorist attack work? That's what they're saying.
Yeah, you're right.
They're projecting.
That's right.
They're always projecting, like we were saying earlier. And some people have told me it only exists on the fringes of the left. And I'm like, I think we're experiencing sustained, widespread political bloodlust across the whole base. I was in New York when Butler happened.
Yeah.
And I was at like a family function. Some old friends will say, this one in particular, ex-friend, said, too bad Trump didn't get it, right? My mother-in-law was in Manhattan when Charlie was executed. And she found out because someone said, thank God, on the street, on the sidewalk. These people feel open to be that bloodthirsty. And these people aren't talking out against it because they all kind of feel that way. It's not like this guy, it's not unique to him. They all feel this. It's their last resort is violence.
And I think there's far too many. We saw the celebration of the death of Charlie Kirk. Is Jay Jones in elected office now? Is he?
No, he's running.
No, but I mean, is he like a state, state delegate? Because they said he was in the state delegation. Attorneys, he's a former member of the House of Delegates from.
Dude, what a creep.
2018
I
to
can't even look at his
2021.
face. I can't even look at his face.
So he had just gotten out.
Creep.
He had just gotten out of
Disgusting.
the Virginia House of Delegates when he sent these messages, and apparently he was sending it to a friend that thought would share, that he would, perhaps share her beliefs, and then he starts calling her and berating her.
But this speaks to what you were just saying, Shane. Why would he think that someone else would be open to hearing that? Probably because a lot of people on his side of the political aisle have been. He was probably surprised by the fact that someone was upset by it.
Look, you see these people in D.C. Morgan, you've been to D.C., you know how it's like. I'll never forget, by the way, of all the text messages, and this will line up to our next story, of all the text messages between Lisa Page and Peter Strzok, the one that always stands out with me is the one that talks about how all of D.C. just looks down on Middle America and just hates Middle America. And they said you can smell the Walmart on Trump supporters. Yeah. You can smell the Walmart on them. And that is that elitist bubble in which all these people live, that they think we are better, we are the anointed ones, we are the best, and all you hicks, all you inbred, gullible losers stuck in the middle of the country. The bitter clingers that Barack Obama said.
The great unifier, Barack Obama, all of his memorable quotes were just nasty, horrible things he said, but he wasn't as funny when he said them as Trump was. It just kind of came off as bitchy and sad.
And look at the timeline of the invective, though. Look at where we started under Barack Obama and where we are now. Right? We've gone from clinging to their guns and their Bibles, and then we got into their fascists and their authoritarians, and now they're just simply let's just kill them.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what happens when you say literally Hitler for 8 years.
And you say it over and over and over. So as horrific as that is, unfortunately, that's where we're at, where not only are we seeing the violence, not only are we seeing the open rebellion, we're also seeing these statements being made by a major party candidate for an extremely powerful office, by the way, and no pushback from his own party. But let's talk about what they do when they actually do get into power. And then, of course, they lie about it so much that we can barely find out information.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.